Alright, I think we can get started. Got everything on my side prepped, I think. Yeah, we're doing okay. Alright, so, real quick, because Wiss was here for the last stream and we were working on a problem. Not really a problem, but something that was bothering me. Okay, hello many brass coins. Welcome to the stream. We need this button. Okay. So I kind of did this up how we would have had to do it, you know, way back when. I'm going to bring this up to the top. Perfect. I love it. So that is a lot of writing, right? A lot of writing for such a little program. That's okay. Basically, this is all generated by Visual Studio, so we really don't need it. This is the actual freaking program. So I went through and wrote what everything's doing. So include IOStream is something that can be included. It's just saying, hey, we're using the IOStream library, which is a preset fixture of tools that it can pull from. So say it knows using namespace std or using namespace standard. It also can stand for shorthand because it indicates we're using the shorthand version of the tools, which is probably the reason why I'm using cout when you're using printf. It could be a difference between shorthand versus long form. But I wasn't generating it in a .cpp file, so that's why it was giving me the error saying, hey, there's no file to be found. So now I can run this program. And then a little menu will pop up for command prompt, and then it says, hello world. So that's what was going on there. So, and then, yeah, I'm just saying console out, we're sending this word out, that's what I'm sending out, and then I'm ending the line. So, it just took me a little bit to figure that out again, because I was doing so for memory very, very randomly. So, yeah, it's always a party here. And I've been meaning to go through this book for like a long time and get up to snuff on my C++ for beginning so that I can take the second class eventually. Yes, very curious indeed how different can be the same thing. Also, I had enough time to cook dinner while we were away. I did not have enough time to eat dinner, so that's why we have the Snorlax emojis, is because I will also be eating dinner while streaming, which is something I don't normally do. But I've kind of gotten over it. I used to like never eat anything on stream. Now I snack. Sometimes I have dinner. So we're going to be a little distracted today, and that's okay. I'm going to have myself a little snacky snack. It's a mojito lime chicken, in case anybody's wondering. And now it's on my keyboard. Okay, now as that's done, I should just be able to eat. Ha 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 ha. Your way's better, though. You don't know the difference between them yet. Honestly, it probably is, because there's probably times in which the long form would be better. Also, just in case Twitch is working, I haven't really checked the actual chat, but I am streaming on Twitch at this juncture. I really just want the chat options available. Average stream bitrate too high. You're gonna go there real quick. Oh, there we go. I don't need those right there. There we go. There's Twitch chat. We got Twitch chat hanging out. Wiss is here. Print F supremacy. Lies. Maybe I should do code with brass coin. Code with brass coin streams. Dr. Snapper, happy birthday yesterday. Is it yesterday? No, it was, yeah, Sunday. Sunday was the birthday because it was Saturday night I was streaming. $11:24. That was... oh, yeah, because it ticked over into Tuesday. That was confusing. Yes, Sunday. We're having mojito lime chicken, if you're wondering. Yeah, I'm already on number 2. My first one I encountered at 1,034. So about 2,000 something off. Yeah, I found it so fast. I also think my hours are off by about 6. Because there's no way I did 1,700 encounters in like 10 hours. No, that's right. These do go fast. Douglas, welcome. You remember something about scout and other being not allowed on your test? If you're talking about out and in, it is cout and CN. Which is funny because scan is what you said to use if you're trying to input text. Scan's Java. Scan is a Java word. We're having shiny hunting and coding conversation. Very, very introductory coding conversation, so don't feel left out. Don't expect anything from you right now. You're sleepy, I'm hungry. We need happy, dopey, and lazy. You got your Raikou today, finally. Epic. Congratulations. Oh, as a point of interest, there is a possibility that if this one follows suit, I could get the shiny in under 1,000 encounters still. But also, if this shiny happens on Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun will be an entire waste because so far 3 of 3 shiny Pokemon have come from Ultra Moon. Yes, Kitty, we are looking for the second type Null. This one's just going to be for the type Null. I already evolved the first one into Savali, and that's because Arsenon chose the nickname. He bought a membership while I was live streaming, so he chose the nickname Sylvie for the Pokemon, so I couldn't keep it as a type Null. It had to be evolved into a Savali. And so now up for grabs are the nicknaming rights for this type Null. I got a shiny type Null already. We are on the second one. That's what the yellow number is way down at the bottom there. The 1034. That was the encounters it took me to get the first type Null. And unfortunately, I was derping around at work and found it, so it was not on stream. No worries, Kitty. You're here now, and we're vibing. We're doing some encounters. Hopefully getting up to 10,050 or finding it. That's the goal for the stream today. And I'm hoping I can do 150 encounters an hour. See out and see in were not allowed. And did it say why? In addition to you not knowing that you could use those. Oh, they weren't from C++ and you haven't seen them? Okay. So they're making... How long have you been in this class? No, you can't get 2 shiny type Null in a single game. What I did was I found number 1 on my Pokemon Ultra Moon. I saved the game, used my modded 3DS to create a save state with it on there. And I had already created... Excuse me. a save state before I found it. So I up-traded it into Pokemon Home, and then I reloaded the save state to a point before I found the type Null, so I could hunt it again. But I'm also using... This is the 3DS that you guys can see. This is the second 3DS. So I'm hunting on 2 right now, and you guys unfortunately can only see 1. You've been in it 4 months. So really what I think that you're doing is learning the long form, because if you don't know what using namespace STD is, it's because they haven't taught it to you yet, because that's probably for the best, because you're probably doing a little bit more in-depth stuff. And needing to know how to set up and grab tools and make your own environment. IOStream is an environment that's like a toolbox, and then using namespace STD is like a pack of crescent wrenches in that toolbox, if that makes sense. What if you reset the save file? Does it let... Yeah, if you reset the save file from ground zero, yeah, it lets you reset hunt it again. Also, welcome, Bear Man Pig. Yeah, the beard and the mustache. I had to get authority at work, so I grew out my facial hair. Not really, but I've been lazy. What?
Can you
Get Colin.
Doesn't want to go back to sleep.
I guess you can bring him in here. Bring his playmat. I got caught off at the start of what? Yeah, we were talking about coding. Yeah, that was wife coin. And the kiddo doesn't want to sleep. A wild baby appeared. Kiddo is plump and happy. Maybe not happy to sleep, but happy. You remember the days when I was clean-faced? That was many moons ago. Oh, yeah, Wiss. And thanks, Kitty, for understanding what Wiss was asking. I was saying, include IOStream. That command I had at the first of my program is like saying, I want this toolbox, this box of tools, and then using namespace STD, or using namespace standard, is like a pack of crescent wrenches inside that toolbox. It gets one very specific tool out of that toolbox to use, which lets us use shorthand. So instead of saying I want to print F, I can just do console out and go directly to the console. Printf, if I'm remembering right, like I did use printf in C++. I never used the command you said for in, because there was just no need for it. But printf does have a function that is better than C out. And that's probably more of like when you want it to display to the screen, but not the console, because there is a difference. Cout might be used for command prompt console, but if you were to actually compile it into a workable program, printf would probably be the ideal, because it's actually telling it to display it on the screen. But I don't know that. Like I said, I only did 1 semester of C++, so I don't know that much. Like, the only reason why I can guess that much is because of my Java coding class, and that was hell. That was just pure hell. That sucked. I hated it. What you up to anyways, Bearman Pig? You managed to get the Charizard EX in TGC Pocket? That's lit. I got the cool Mew busting out of the lab. I thought that was pretty cool. You'll create a program that shows you your gratitude? Fun game, but you get a lot of dupes. Waiting for the trans to trade with others. Isn't that a feature that they have yet to unlock? You got 3 animated cards. That's what's up. When I got done with my first C++ coding class, I thought I was going to fail everything, and I gave up for 5 years. That's how traumatizing my C++ class was. It is something else. I took it in 2017, and I didn't take another coding class until 2023. Took you a week to figure out some stuff for work, but now it's just easy. Yeah, Douglas. So, I've told a story here on the channel before, but I'll put it this way. My teacher was not wrong in doing this. I understand what they were trying to do, but as an introductory, probably not the best idea. Okay? So, my teacher's philosophy on programming was when you're out in the field, your job is to figure out how to do what the program needs to do. That's what you're paid for. Now, the thing about programming is there's so many ways to do something that you can't record all of them, and chances are you're going to encounter a problem that has been solved before by somebody else or a way to solve it. So coding isn't so much, knowing exactly what to do at every point in turn, as it is knowing how to find the answer to the solution you're trying to make. All right, so with that context in point, my teacher never covered the lessons in class. Like, we would get a homework assignment, and we would not discuss it at all until after it was already due. He had an interesting grading philosophy, and that is, okay, we have 10 homework assignments throughout the semester. You can go the entire semester without doing a single assignment. However, you will not be able to submit the final if your assignments are not done. You cannot submit homework assignment 2 without first submitting homework assignment 1. So if you don't have all of the assignments done, you can't get graded for the final. Is how we did it, which is fine. Like, I understand that. How are you supposed to understand how to do assignment 2 if you can't do assignment 1? They build off of each other, and that was how the class was structured. You build component 1, you build component 2, you put them together in assignment 3. You build component 4, you build component 5, you put them together in assignment 6, so on and so forth. But we would talk about something in class. We would have lessons, and we would learn a little bit of syntax. But as far as, how do we do this assignment? What's it actually asking us to do? How do we break this apart? He would not cover it until after it was due, which was very stressful. So I learned to code my homework assignments by myself, which was effective for learning. But when you have that as an introductory class and then are told all the rest of your classes are going to be exactly like this, the job is going to be exactly like this, it was a little scary, a little daunting. And so I kind of said, yeah, maybe this isn't for me. That's too much to figure out all at once. Fast forward to 2023, I decided that I wanted to take a coding bootcamp course for front-end and back-end development. I ended up only doing one half of it because I hated Java so much. I didn't want to deal with it ever again. But and 18-week coding boot camps is not it. They're terrible. Go get the kitty. 18-week coding boot camps. To put it into perspective, I had an entire 18-week semester to learn the same stuff that we covered in weeks 1 through 6 of this boot camp. So 6 weeks to cram 18 weeks worth of material in. Coding boot camp sucked. I passed it, but I only passed it because I had a C++ foundation, and I know Java is a different language. But because I understood the principles so well in C++, I was able to pass the Java class because I did so well in the first 6 weeks that the rest of it didn't really matter. And he's happy. He's playing. But yeah, we basically had to do our own research. Goodness, dude. At least you're happy squealing and not screaming. We'll count that as a win, I think. Get them wiggles out so you can go to bed. So I'm going back through my C++ intro. Well, because Wiss was talking about it and you guys got me motivated to actually put some time into it because I've been thinking a lot about that recently. And I have the second book to that. I want to do it before I go back to class so that I can just submit all the assignments and be done with it. Because this isn't just a book, like this has all of my assignments in it as well. Yeah, the best way to learn is basically trial by fire. And like I didn't used to have that mentality, but really I do, especially with my job with banking stuff. Like I can spend 3 months over somebody's shoulder showing them exactly what to do on our programs, but until they are on their own and actually have to click the buttons, there is no learning. Until you have to do it, there is no learning. Good night, Wiss. Get some battery charge. Boy, you are so loud. You're gonna wake up your brother, and then nobody's gonna be happy. The other reason why I'm going through this workbook is one of the big programs they had us make was a calendar. I never, like, I finished it and it worked. I want to know if I can do it again without the class on my own. Can I make a program that lists a calendar? And like you could type in a random number and say like, oh, I want to do 370 days. It'll tell you like what day that is from today's date, which I thought was really cool. Hey, Dr. Snapper, you have a great night as well. Yeah, like the ones on a computer. So like it would know that today's November 26th. And if I said I want you to go 370 days into the future, it would be like, oh, okay, so that day is going to be, it's going to be December 1st, 2025. And then like it would just compute that. And not only would it compute that, like it would display the month calendar for that day. And like it would build a little box to put it in with asterisks, so that was really cool. It calculated for leap year as well. So like it was a bunch of functions that the exercise was, okay, like we clearly got to display date in this manner, but to display date in this manner, we have to do the calculations to figure out what day it is right now. So how many days past, you know, the year of our Lord and Savior are we? Currently, how many days, how many months. So it had you input the date first, and then you could put a number in, and then be like, okay, if today's this date and you want to go this many days out in the future, what date is that? And then it would build the calendar and put the numbers into place. It would tell you the days of the week and everything. And so you would also need to know, okay, if they put in this number, I need to do, first I need to check to see if it's 365 days. Okay. If it is more than 365 days, what's my remainder? So you'd figure out your remainder. And then you'd be like, okay, so it's 1 year in advance, or it's however many years in advance. What's the remainder? Okay, 65. Okay, where does that put us from this date going forward. If it's month 11, I know I'm in November. I need to calculate for 30 days. Okay, so how many days did I put in? Okay, I put in 26. I know that November has 30 days. Subtract 26, there's 4 more days before rolling over into the next month. So we got 4 days. How many days are left? So on and so forth. So I just narrowed down. Basically. And then it would also say, oh, the reason why it needs to know how many years past 0 BC is because it was calculating for, do we need to calculate for leap year? So it just ran through a bunch of equations. And it was actually a pretty good exercise. And then after that, the last program was a Sudoku puzzle. And he ended up making that optional. Thank heavens he made it optional. Because I would have failed the class right there. Because I couldn't submit that one. And if I couldn't submit that one, I couldn't take the final. So at the last minute, he's like, okay, enough of you guys are having problems with this and we don't have time to resolve them. We're making this one optional for extra credit. If you do this one, you don't have to take the final. But if you don't do it, you have to take the final. And I'm like, give me the final. I can do that. Multiple choice questions? Heck yeah. I'll take it. So it wasn't auto-filling the Sudoku. It would generate a Sudoku and you had to type the numbers. So it would read to a saved file and read from a saved file and then write to that saved file and update it every time you put a number in. So like you were actually working with the program. But I could never get it to read and write. My Java coding course got me a little bit more skill with reading from a file and writing to a file. So I could probably do it now. Because my teacher didn't cover what the heck an array was very well. Array. It's a series of information stored in a block. And like they did not explain that well. I wasn't using a program to figure out the puzzle. The puzzle was the program. So when you run the program, it would generate the Sudoku puzzle. And then, you know, Sudoku, if you're looking at it on a sheet of paper, it has a couple numbers filled in on each column and each row. It would fill in some of that information. And based on that information, it would also generate on the back end what an acceptable solution to that would look like. And then you had to input the numbers basically like you were writing it on the paper into the program, and once you got done, it would see if you were right. If not, it would erase it, and then you would have to try again if your numbers were not in the right place. Oh, really? You're really loud, you know that. You're so loud they can hear you all the way in Mexico, dude. Yeah, it was actually really interesting, but like I said, I could never get it to read and write. I had the rest of the program 100%. Yeah, you could say my array was off somewhere. Realistically, I did not have a correct understanding of what array did and how to call and save to it. And with my Java coding course that I had to take, it was primarily dealing with arrays. Like, because they wanted to teach us MySQL, which is a database software, they really focused and hammered arrays into our minds. Granted, it's been half a year, so I've forgotten a lot of that due to being sleep deprived with a new baby. But the bread and butter of this MySQL Java course was arrays, so that you could send lots of information to a server and retrieve lots of information. Now you want to take coding classes to see if you can do it? Yeah. Best of luck. Realistically, like, it is very cut and dry. There's a lot of brainstorming and figuring it out, but really, it is just pure logic at its finest. Like, the computer does exactly what you tell it to do. You just gotta know what you need to tell it to do. Hate math but love challenges. Programming is nothing without math. In fact, when you get down to it, coding in C++ eventually goes down to just zeros and ones and adds them all together. You're at the point where you can't stand working as a cleaner much longer. Gotta find a different job. Well, coding is still necessary. Best part is, for coding, you don't even have to go to school for it. Coding and programming is one of those jobs where, like, yeah, if you got a certificate, that's great. But you gotta have a working resume. They could care less, or they couldn't care less if you went to school. It's, can you do the job? Do you have projects to show us that you can do it? Coding is like art and music. Yes. And I want to say it's more like music than art, because when you get down to it, music theory is math. Also, Mr. Limbo, it has been so long. Music is math and coding is math. Yeah, that's a good job. Scream into the carpet. You gonna scooch on your belly, dude? You gonna come get me? Yeah? Well, come on. How many beats for a no, and it's more than that. Like, knowing notes going up an octave, down an octave, that's all math. In groups like, I think, 7. But the actual theory of why music sounds good to us is math in some ways, with the pitches and octaves and decibels that they're playing at. There is mathematical reasons for why things sound good, is basically the gist of that. You've been well. I too have been well. Up and down, left and right. Got a few shinies since the last time, but probably only one, maybe 2. So, this is actually a different one. Come here, you. So, this is Baby Coin 2. The other one is Copper Coin because he got upgraded. He got a new nickname when this one was born. That was 5 months ago. Copper Coin just turned 2 recently. So I did record it, and I'm hoping this Thanksgiving weekend I am going to be able to compile about 3 videos that I have pre-recorded for you guys. Blood in the bath. Been watching your poi pole hunt and your giveaways. Hope you get the type Null. And thank you so much. We are on number 2 of 2. Bronze coin if I have another kid. Yeah. Yep. If we do have a third, this one will be bronze coin. Copper coin will remain copper coin. And then we'll have a new baby coin. And then we'll probably be tapped out at that. Yeah. But since he's a boy, the Terrible 2 started like 6 months ago. The Terrible 2 started when he could walk. So, I'm happy that we don't have 2 under 2 anymore. And really, like, a week before he turned 2, his attitude started changing. Like, he started to mellow down. And we got him some toys for his birthday that he's loving. So, like, he will actually stop and play with his toys for the first time ever. And we're thrilled about that. My son made your cat make the weird face. Hey, Blood and Bath. Thanks for popping in and wishing us luck. Have a fantastic evening. I got lucky. Are you done screaming? Well, actually, now that you mention it, no, I'm not. Most 2-year-olds are kind of interesting. So, Terrible 2s is kind of a generality. Because really, it does depend quite a bit on what they can handle, what they do, and what they want to do. My kid just wants to climb up everything all the time. And he's finally starting to use sentences and use words. Because, like, they know what they want, but they don't know how to vocalize it. Around 2, a little bit before 2, a little bit after 2, generally they start figuring out, okay, how do I convey what I want? And then they start throwing tantrums because they're like, okay, now I'm trying to communicate, but you're just not understanding. And then they have the meltdown. But my kid, he's talking pretty good. It was super cute the other day. Sunday I went in to wake him up. And we've taught him when he needs a new diaper, it's not a diaper or change me, it's new butt. He needs a new butt. So when we notice his diaper's sagging a little bit, I'm like, come on dude, you need a new butt? He's like, yeah, I need a new butt. And while we were doing that, he noticed that he didn't have his sippy cup, which he calls Pippi. Like Pippi Longstocking. He calls his sippy cup Pippi. And we've just never corrected on it because it's one of those cute toddler words. And so while I'm getting him a new butt, he's just like, Pippi? Where's Pippi? Where'd Pippi go? And that was super cute. So he's like starting to make sentences and realize what he needs to say to convey his thought. And light on, light off. Knows those ones really well. My kid has a fascination with lights. So, yeah, he's at a fun stage where he's starting to really learn things and remember things. You forgot how bad the odds were when pre-switch games? Yeah. They're pretty terrible. 1 in every 4,096. And they're even worse pre-Gen 5, pre-Gen 4. Masuda method is ouch too. I'm just glad it's not 1 in every 8,000. Oh, it is so cool and so weird watching them form a personality. Especially when they pick up on your choice words that you say off camera. Wasn't me. Wasn't my fault. It was my wife. The only shiny you caught recently was another Rickety with a plus attack minus special attack. I am so jazzed to get done with this shiny hunt because then I get to do something truly fun. I get to play through Pokemon Coliseum in Japanese to get the Agato Celebi unlocked. And then really from there it's just going to be doing some Professor Oak challenges, playthroughs, doing some shiny hunting only runs, which are going to suck, but also I'll be able to really blow through Scarlet, Violet, PLA, Sword Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, shiny hunting all of the legendaries there. I'm so stoked for it. Coliseum is one of my all-time favorite games. Pokemon Sapphire is my favorite mainline Pokemon game. I don't know if you guys have ever had the pleasure of playing through a Pokemon game with a action replay with the cheat code Cat Trainer's Pokemon enabled. But I really wish they would redo Pokemon Coliseum in a manner that you can be the bad guy. Really, I would just be super stoked if they redid Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness in general. But it would be wonderful if they did a version of them where you can be the bad guy and have like a story path for that to occur. But playing the early Pokemon games, like Gen 3 games, with an action replay or Game Shark and that cheat code Catch Trainer Pokemon enabled is so fun. Because you can have like a what if in Fire Red. Like, what if I do go with Team Rocket? What if I do become a Team Rocket member? I mean, you can't really choose yes. But you can go around stealing people's Pokemon and pretend. Huh, Power World lets you be evil, and it's low-key better than any Pokemon game on Switch. Fair. Power World was pretty great. 1 through 5 is peak, yes. Gen 3 is my all-time favorite. Specifically, Sapphire. Gen 5 is my second favorite. And I prefer playing through Pokemon Black more than playing through Pokemon White. However, Zekrom is my boy. Haven't touched it. Working on Elden Ring right now. Elden Ring is so hard. My condolences. Yep, Ruby and Sapphire were Gen 3. Mudkip is the best boy. Gen 4 was your first game. Chimchar's your son. Chimchar's pretty lit. I like Chimchar. My starters from each generation are Charmander, Totodile, Mudkip, Chimchar, Oshawott, Froakie, Rowlet. I want to say Rowlet's my favorite, but I end up choosing Litten more than anything. But Rowlet. Score Bunny. Oh, what are this? Sprigatito. You like Piplup, but your favorite is Torterra? Valid. You pray for Mega Infernape? They are supposed to be adding some Megas. And I believe they have said that you are taking place after the events of X and Y for that city revamp. So, like, it could be just that we uncover more Mega Stones. I really liked Grookey. I thought Thwackey was so dumb. Rillaboom's pretty alright. Like, Rillaboom's not as good as I feel like he could be, but, like, he's still pretty awesome. Beaten Elden Ring with pretty much every build. Most recent was throwing pot focused. You're finishing Let's Go Pikachu and you forgot the pain from last time when you played it. Rumor is 15 years later. Yeah. No. Like, I'm so jazzed to do Professor Oak's challenges. Like, I even went out and got a Pokeball Plus that still has a Mew in it that I'm just waiting to use on a playthrough of the game. Rillaboom's hair. Yep. I agree. It was just a little much. Also, I've been streaming on YouTube and Twitch this entire time, and we haven't dropped frames, so we're doing pretty good. So if you want to see if we get Mega, you forgot the balancer for X and Y. Oh, Zygarde? Yeah. Rumor of a Mega Zygarde. That has been rumored. It would actually be pretty cool if it happened. You see buffering a bit, but not bad. That's good. Alls I know is Game Freak's gonna have a full-on riot if they do not do Mega Flygon. Like, there is no way that's gonna be excused. They exceeded the polygon limit with Rillaboom's hair and had to bust out the stupid shapes like Hydreigon's skin tag. Can't have something take too long to draw. Yeah. I mean, it just didn't look good. Oh my gosh. We will never get Mega Jinx. I swear Nintendo is actively trying to forget Jinx exists. Like, they had the opportunity to make a different kind of Jinx when they did Galar with Mr. Mime. But I think they missed their opportunity. It's a 40-foot drum set. I don't think we'll get any regional variants. And the reason I say that is just because it's a region we've already been to. It wouldn't make sense to have a variant of a Pokemon that was already available there. Not to say we can't or couldn't. I just don't find it likely. I mean, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we did get regional variants of Pokemon. But the reason there was they hadn't died out, or the conditions were still met for them to be like that. However, that's not to say that the conditions couldn't change in Kalos that would require an alteration. That, I guess that could still happen. Ha, Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball is not changing. Purple skin solved it. Yeah. They did change it more purple. I would love a sewer Totodile. Where's our poison crocodile? We have dark sand crocodile, we have water crocodile, we have fire crocodile. Slash ghost crocodile. We could use a poison crocodile. Shiny Santa Croc is pretty. Yup. I feel like there's a crocodile that I'm forgetting. Did we really only have 3 crocodiles? Is there really only Fraligator, Crocodile, and Fuecoco? A water steel or water dragon Fraligator? Ooh. Yeah, it's Fraligator, Crocodile, and Skeledirge. The Torterra raid was brutal. Gonna be honest, I haven't done a raid since Greninja. Oh yeah, the singing starter one. Right? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we had a magician, a ninja, and a fighter. We had a archer, a mermaid, and a luchador. We had a soccer player, a drama artist, and a drummer. And then we had a dancer, a magician, and a singer. Oh, I hate Quaquaval. But if Pokemon Coliseum was to be remade and include more Pokemon and Gen 9 Pokemon, I would love to see Mirror B come at us with a team of Quaquaval and Ludicolo's dancing to his theme music. It'd be beautiful. In my experience in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, any starter you choose destroys every gym all the time. I think my most recent Pokemon challenge was Volo followed by Giratina in Legends Arceus. It was the Afro guy. The disco guy. Anyways. Now that I'm done vibing. You name your starters, or you name your Switch starters boxed, then farm the metal bird for a shiny. There you go. That's what I'm doing in my current giveaway that I hope to have out tomorrow. Is I'm doing all of the mailed Pokemon for the Pokedex for Scarlet and Violet. And then I hope to do it again, but with female versions. And there's some pretty shinies. Then you have Gimmighoul and Goldango. This is true. A platinum Goldango would have been amazing. Ooh, a gold Aggron would have been great. But you know what they really should have done for Steelix? A crystal. Should have done a crystal. Crystal Onyx. But wouldn't really work well for Steelix. Unless they made it Diamond was the shiny for Steelix. You do like the reddish pink eyes on Aggron though? Yes. Aron, I love Aron's red eyes. They're great. A Crystal Steelix Legendary. Could happen. Could happen. Pretty sweet. That would actually be quite lovely. I would love a Dragon Eevee. If we could just get a Dragon Eevee, Evolutions would be complete. Oh wow, I lost a lot of subscribers. I haven't been paying attention to that number just steadily dropping this stream. That's crazy. Admittedly, I would like a ghost type Eevee. But I think if we could get a Dragon Eevee, I would be content. Funny that you should mention that, Kitty. A poison type Eevee would also be legit, because then I could add it to my poison team. I do believe that I'm going to end at 900 encounters today. I have a baby that is up at 1:30 in the morning that needs to really go to bed. So I'm going to do one more set of encounters here and then call it for the night. We've gotten a good number of encounters in today. Give me a like. Gotta get that steel Eevee. Honestly, I would like that too. Steel would be awesome. What's your name for that steel evolution? Because Nideon just doesn't work. Steelion kind of works. Rockion. Anywho's, we'll see y'all later.